Where's the... It says... Oh, why is that?
What is it?
There we go.
Half-Life?
Okay.
It's the
All right.
AI deal.
There's no way they'd get the name of the show correct on the True Crime Show. It would be like some old dude just being like, the name of the snake had been taken from some kind of YouTube animated series, an anime of sorts, featuring characters from a popular console video game series.
Okay, we had some audio issues there, but everyone should be audible now.
We
we're
have
good.
Gabe Newell here to discuss why this related into the murder.
Someone...
I don't have anything to say about Benry specifically, but I can tell you that Half-Life 3 might not come out. That's my game impression. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
So...
Hi, it's Kelly, live from a car.
Yes.
Yeah, so Mumbles is in a car right now. The stream didn't get the initial start where we explained that. So that's how this is going.
We've decided to do a punk rock unplugged stream.
Yeah, for a bit it was just my desktop background.
Yes. Nick is the wheelman, so he's yeah, alright.
You only have to deal with me for a while. Unless we get in a car crash right now.
Okay,
I mean,
let's do it.
you could just do your podcast right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Our next episode of Indie Retro Podcast is about Dragon Age, actually.
Oh, really?
You know?
As an indie and retro
indie
game.
and a retro game.
Yeah.
Did you know that the first Dragon Age game is a retro game?
It came out in 2009. That was 12 years ago.
That qualifies.
God,
One of the boldest decisions made by BioWare in designing their visionary Western RPG was to eschew the pixelated, side-scrolling interface used by previous games in the series.
Portal is a retro game. Portal 2 is a retro game.
Oh, God.
That's unfortunately just true. Yeah.
Retro game. Okay, we're done, so I'll see you guys in like 5 seconds. I just gotta run inside and turn my computer.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So that was a cold open.
Yeah. Especially the minute there where they could only hear me, which was great because I set the audio device to the wrong thing.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, we should like bully Chris into coming onto this show. He's...
He says he doesn't have any opinions about Dragon Age, so we should lie to him and tell him
When
it's
was
a
the
different
last time we
game.
talked about Dragon Age on this fucking stream?
We should lie to him and tell him it's about a different game.
Yeah,
and then when
hang
it
on.
comes
Hey, let me...
we should act like it's just the game
Hey,
that
Campster.
Dragon Age is that game.
Come join our stream.
Hey,
We're
Chris,
not
we've got
playing
this-
Dragon Age.
We're playing a Doom WAD we found on the internet, and it's really out there. They added a bunch of mechanics not present in the original.
Wait, no, we're not playing Among Us. We're playing Fortnite. We can actually do that. Hang on. No, that launched a search window for Fortnite. Do I not have Fortnite installed? Son of a bitch.
I don't know about you, but every time I've like fall off of an Epic game, I end up just uninstalling the entire like Epic Games Store app.
No, I still have it installed. It's not running right now.
I actually want to clarify that I don't have any kind of like strong opinion about the Epic Games Store app, except that like I don't really need it that often. It's I can kind of keep it on mothballs. I rarely have an urgent need for a game that I have on Epic.
I have a game on Epic that I don't have anywhere else. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, let me actually see what I have.
That didn't open, which is cool. So, here we go.
I think we're just gonna have to press forward with Dragon Age, but
no, we've got to trick Chris into joining our definitely Fortnite stream.
What's out, everybody? We're playing Dragon Age.
No,
Today,
don't pay attention to the Dragon Age and Chill or the Dragon Age Origins category. That's not what we're doing.
I have to say that I definitely forgot how, in my mind, I think I compressed Dragon Age. Like, I think that each individual chapter I boiled down to, like, a quarter of its actual runtime.
Yeah.
That's before they kind of made things snappy. Alpha Protocol. So, MT1ST mentioned Alpha Protocol in the chat here, and that is an interesting title, because I keep getting into fights with people. Speaking of which.
Chris says he can't watching to fatwas with the wife.
Okay, good.
What is
good.
that?
What was it?
Is it
TF?
TFATWS?
The Fire and the Sword?
Falcon
The
and the
This
Winter
one.
Soldier?
Yes, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Hey, Kelly, how's it going? How's it doing?
Hi,
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear you
us?
now.
Hello.
Yes, I can
Okay,
hear you
good.
now.
We can hear you.
Anymore.
Wonderful.
We were
Okay.
So I was trying to lure Campster in here by pretending that we were doing Fortnite. But I couldn't get the Epic launcher to actually open, so I couldn't bring Fortnite up.
He caught you in your lies and trickery.
He didn't
That's
even
okay.
bother. He just said, "Oh, I'm watching the Falcon and the Winter Soldier with the wife."
That's fine. It's totally fine.
Is it fine though?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I haven't seen any episodes of that series.
I also have not seen any episode of that series. All right.
That's what I should have said, is when I was in the car, I should have said, I'm calling from the fade. That would have been way funnier. Oh well.
We'll save that bit for next time. We'll
Next
just cut
time.
this out of the YouTube edit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so let's get Fade Runin.
Right. So last time we came into this room, a mage killed us all.
Wonderful.
So yeah. So that's cool. See all these conspicuous
I
corpses here that you can't click on? Sure, those are
yeah.
fine. Oh no! Alright, where's that mage is like over there somewhere. Stand up, damn you.
Wait, what are we up to here with?
Well,
okay, I see.
the first time we did this, a mage surprised us and killed us before I could deal with it.
Right. I'd say I forgot, but it's really more likely that I never actually ingested that information at all.
What was it? What's happening?
The corpses on the ground are evil, as it turns out.
Are they blight corpses or just your regular run-of-the-mill necromancy?
They seem to be like... I actually don't know in this case, because, like, what caused these things to appear? Are they just, like, demons that showed up? Or did a necromancer roll through it? Fuck. That's a fireball. Hey.
This is the thing I
hey,
don't think...
everybody. Scatter.
Blood
You know,
magic.
it's a thing I don't think gets covered enough by role-playing games and fantasy settings.
What?
Necromancy is nothing but fantasy automation.
Yeah.
Like, you say run-of-the-mill necromancy,
Yeah.
I say use necromancy to run a mill.
That's what I'm saying. If it's almost like if it was a sci-fi, it would be some guy who made a bunch of robots.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. What's so wrong with necromancy?
I wrote a horror story ages ago about, like, a farmer who's, like, lost several key family members during a famine, and ended up raising them from the dead just to, like, have their bodies work the fields, and kind of just, like, going insane because he's in the middle of nowhere watching this happen. But
Hey, Alistair, how you doing over there?
I feel
Having
like
fun?
I would clean the body so it's skeletons, because wouldn't the, like, rotting smell bug you? Or is
Yeah.
there a type of necromancy that's like it's not gonna rot until it's done being a necromancer?
there is, but they got rid of it.
Oh,
'cause
what
it
the
was
fuck?
racist.
Why?
Yikes!
Yeah.
What was that screen shake?
I don't know.
A bit, like, basically back in the day, they had a type of zombie which they decided to base more directly on, like, Haitian voodoo mythology.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
and the premise is they didn't like rot or anything.
Okay. I just feel like from a practical standpoint, you don't really necessarily want rotting fresh flesh around you, you know?
Yeah, nice clean bones. Nice clean bones.
Yeah. Nice clean bones. Or spirits? No, okay. Do you consider spirit raising necromancy, or is that more of like in the summoner kind of magic?
That's like the original kind of necromancy. Like that's what the word used to mean before it was like fantasy bullshit.
Yeah.
So I think so. I think that's kind of like, I definitely kind of fold that into necromancy.
Oh, I've been meaning to ask you. I was thinking about this, and it's been a couple weeks. Okay, so you know in how what's that one MMO we used to play together, Josh? The Guild Wars.
Guild
You know in
Wars.
Guild Wars 2 they have a mesmer?
Uh-huh.
Is there a mesmer class in D&D?
Yeah. Well, okay. In D&D, in Pathfinder, which is just D&D, but like it's what the people who got really into D&D play now.
Okay.
Yes, they added a actually for Pathfinder, which I don't like, really cool expansion that's like occultist stuff, where there's like honestly the best fucking classes in Pathfinder, and there's like a mesmerist guy who can like kind of hypnotize people.
Yeah.
There's like my favorite, who's like kind of an antiquarian dude who just like collects magic items and like sort of like makes
I
them
can
himself.
see why you'd like that, yeah.
Oh yeah, and just like kind of spooky occultist dude. I got to play one because when somebody got this book, he wanted to do like a short little campaign arc just to kind of try out all the classes. So I played like the thing about like the occult classes, they're more low key than wizards. It's more like understated.
I see.
So I kind of just played him as like this guy with a spooky traveling wagon full of various things that he's picked up in like exotic parts of the world he's traveled to, and just shows them off. And the thing about him is that he's just like insanely sketchy. Like you talk to him and he just like sounds like, you know, like, oh, this dude's practicing witchcraft or something really gnarly. But he's actually just a nice guy. He just like comes off that way because that's his whole personality and deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta be like that if you're collecting potentially like haunted objects, right?
Yeah, it's just like he loves it. That's just his thing. He just like
Yeah.
loves having all this like wild shit. Like there's a moment in a town where like he came up to a child, he went over to a kid to ask something, and then like he's like, you seem a likely lad. Would you like to see some terrible and forbidden magic? The boy's like, I don't know. And he's like, oh well, if you insist. And then he like, the child runs away as he starts to do the like detachable thumb trick.
No child runs away from that, though. I'm gonna call Fel. If I was a child and some guy was like, hey, you want to see a talking head? I'd be like, fuck yes, let's do it.
That's exactly what happened. As I like turned to the rest of the party, I'm like, when did children stop being interested in terrible and forbidden magics?
Yes, exactly.
Jimmy in chat asks, mesmer is illusion stuff, right? Sort of?
It's like, yeah, you can like make mirror versions of yourself.
Yeah.
And you can like do mind tricks. There's something about like the quote-unquote mesmer fantasy class that really interests me, because it's all about just sort of creating these illusions. It'd be an illusionist, basically.
I feel like it went further than a lot of illusion magic stuff goes in like D&D or like, you know, MMOs and stuff, or video games in general, where like in Guild Wars, it depends on which version of the mesmer we're talking about, because in Guild Wars 1 it was very different from Guild Wars 2.
I like the Guild Wars 2 one, because you could like zoom around the map basically, and no one would really know where you are because you have multiple versions of you.
Yeah.
And like you'd hear like a glass shattering when you would change what you're doing. Like it was just cool. It just felt cool to play.
That's like my whole. Actually, that is you were talking about like definitely one of my favorite classic fantasy things.
Yeah.
Is like kind of the illusion, because like you think about it, right? Like you're living in this world where, you know, there's no like EMF readers. There's no like we put this under a microscope. If you like, you know, you have all these wizards that this guy can shoot fire from his hands. This guy can like conjure a frog, but this guy can make you think all that stuff's happening, and anything else he can think of, and that's just as powerful.
Okay, but do you feel that a mesmer like sorcerer is more interesting in high fantasy, sort of medieval Renaissance, or in like Wild West / like Edwardian, Victorian era, like Chicago, basically, when spiritualism just started to like kick off.
Right.
Right? Yeah, and you have like Tesla and stuff like that. So everyone's really interested in that kind of stuff. So like it'd be two different types of people, because like the one who was in the Victorian times when spiritualism was a thing would be a performer, and they would be probably famous, and they would just be using their magic and saying it's magic, and most people thinking it's phony who don't believe in that shit, right? But the one in like high fantasy or like Renaissance, that person would be probably more of a spy, honestly. Like, no one's really interested in that the way that they were in the late 1800s.
Yeah. It's like it's in our kind of like 1800s world. It's like, oh, you know, you can make a living as a performer, but if you're living in a world of dragons and shit, you're much better not being seen as someone who's special.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I don't play any role. Well, I mean, I play video games that are RPGs, Krellin, but I don't play any tabletop games, even though I feel like I probably should.
We're gonna get to that.
Give me something I do with my life.
I'm really looking forward to quarantine being lifted so I can start running some shit in person.
Yeah, I bet.
Have you managed to get your vaccine shots yet?
No.
Mine is this weekend, baby. The J&J one shot. Here we go.
Oh, nice.
Fuck yeah. One and done.
I got
Fuck me up, JJ. Fuck me up.
I got my first shot of the Moderna last Thursday, so
Nice.
end of the month I'll go in for the second shot.
Hell yeah.
Get that flare. Get that lens flare shit.
Oh, okay. It has it in order here. Okay, so vessel, sword up, sword down, and then there's the one in the other room. Doing some kind of ancient summoning ritual that everybody's like, no, you, like from hundreds of years ago, we're saying, no, you definitely shouldn't be doing this. No, all right. Doesn't do anything initially, and then if you hit it again, you did the sequence wrong.
In terms of like where I am, some people were talking about vaccine priorities. In terms of like where I am and like what my conditions are, I am somewhere around livestock in terms of like when like when my window for the shot comes up, which it's like a double-edged sword because like I work from home anyway. I don't really leave the house much, so I'm happy to wait my turn.
Yeah, I used a vaccine finder, which is kind of cheating probably, but they had some extra ones down south, so I was like, fuck it, I'll drive. I'll get my one and done, you know?
Here we go.
I had a, like, I was on a call when it was announced that Costco was handing out, like, vaccine appointments to people early. Oh my God. Everybody immediately scrambled, and like 3 or 4 of them got appointments. And I just went over to my local Costco, and it's like, we're only serving people over 60 in this county, and it wasn't even my county.
I was able to just sign up through my fucking pharmacy.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that a shot.
I mean, that's probably how you're supposed to do it, but I don't know.
Whatever gets the job done. I mean, like, you know, it's. If you think about it, they're not gonna perfectly, like, use up every vaccine that they have. So you may as well just get it where you can.
And I really wanted the J&J one because it has such a great efficiency against really severe reactions to COVID. And since I have asthma, like childhood asthma my whole life, I'm like, you know what? I'd rather have that. That's more important to me. So.
Yeah.
They didn't give me the option to pick.
Yeah, I
it's
figured.
Like, hey, you're getting this vaccine. Fuck, what is Liliana doing all the way up
I mean, they're all good.
All that good vaccine bean footage.
Carlin, to answer your question, what kind of role-playing game do you want to play? As far as tabletop, my dream is to play like an old-fashioned, like D&D fantasy campaign with like, oh, you gotta go talk in a tavern, you gotta go look for this relic. That shit, I've always wanted to do that, and I've never had a chance. So.
Yeah, I've never gotten the chance to do that either.
I keep telling people this, like, man. Okay, yeah, but yes, that is probably what we're gonna end up doing a little into this, like, Dragon Age stick.
Yay.
So I'm sort of prepping for that a little bit.
I'm so excited. Will I have time to make my character card and stuff?
Oh, we'll have plenty of time. But it's yeah, I talk to people a lot, like, in indie circles about why D&D is, like, still a good go-to game to kind of whip out.
Yeah.
It's done.
And it's something that people don't always want to hear.
I'm ready. What is it?
Yeah. Oh,
It's because Red Scarn's getting sponsored, baby.
no.
Yeah!
I will say, like, in terms of what I want to develop for, it's certainly not Dungeons and Dragons, but, like, the things that Dungeons and Dragons have going for it is that firstly, it provides, and this is getting really nerdy, but, like, a lot of people who want to replace D&D as, like, an intro game, which is not, like, a bad thing to want to do, kind of approach it from the perspective of, oh, D&D is too complicated and legalistic, so, which is true. So we're going to replace it with something which has simple rules and fills in the gaps with storytelling.
That's
so
fine.
It's like, you say that, and it is. Like, I enjoy that kind of game. But
Same.
the problem is, it's a bad intro for people who haven't done, like, they haven't, like, done the text-based role-playing, like, they haven't been, like, you know, they don't write, you know, they don't do all that sorts of stuff. This is, like, for people who kind of want to try it, but it's, like, a brand new experience, they kind of need something in there where, like, they can play a game that's almost just a board game and have fun with it, and then little by little try out all the other stuff.
See, I don't know about that, because I feel like, I mean, I do write creatively, and I am a creative person, so I wonder if I would actually prefer the one that has less, like, binary rules, you know?
That's definitely possible. Like,
Yeah.
that's... Like, I think that it's important to just know who it is, like, you're building a game for. Like, that's my deal.
Yeah. Because I feel like for me personally, it's more exciting to, like, be given a situation and then try to, like, think it through, basically, instead of, like, well, I guess I have high constitution, so I'll ram the door, or I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually don't know, because I've never experienced it before, but, like, I don't know.
Yes.
One of the sort of go-to games I have in my back pocket is Fate Core. And the cool thing about Fate Core is that, like, whereas games like D&D come from, like, a wargaming background where it's like, try to simulate, I don't know, fighting. Try to simulate some kind of physical process that happens that people can kind of vaguely understand. Fate is just trying to simulate a story.
That
So,
sounds
like,
the best. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, how it works is you've got, like, your skills and whatever, and you roll that to do things. But also, your character has aspects. And aspects are just, like, you just write down something about your character. Like, can't resist a drink. Or, like, you know, one of the most feared bounty hunters or something. And then, like, if you get into a situation where it's relevant, like, if you get into a situation where it can get you into trouble, you basically get a point for having that. And it's like a story
We're up to an
point.
orgy in here? Like, what?
What's happening?
There's a desire demon over here and 5 possessed or charmed Templars.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And rise my pets, your mistress command. Oh boy, look, not to yuck
I just
anybody's
got
yum, but we
frozed.
did not sign up for this.
Oh, damn it. You know what? I don't know if this heavy armor is worth the fatigue it's giving us here.
Redscarn, I think I also would be fine with a horror game.
Oh yeah, interesting.
I think I might like that as well.
That's that. Yeah, yeah.
I think that might actually be the best fit, even though I love the idea of, like, pretending I'm a wizard. I think that actually, like, pretending there's ghosts is more, I don't know, maybe up my alley a little bit.
You could play a character that is pretending to be a wizard themselves.
That is very common in horror stories, as a matter of fact.
I have a
Jesus.
bad habit of putting heavy horror elements in
We
every
got some
campaign. I run.
conical-
Wonderful.
Oh.
So, but Ravenloft is based off of like Lovecraft stuff, isn't it?
No, Ravenloft's like gothic horror. It's like
Oh,
Dracula.
okay. Oh, okay. I'm down with that.
Yeah. Yeah, like although there's like Lovecraft stuff is like there's other.
I don't really
supplements for
have an
that,
interest in Lovecraft. I've read
Yeah.
Lovecraft, but he's not my favorite. I mean, of course, Reanimator is a classic, but it's a classic because of the movie.
Yeah. Yes. I Jeffrey Combs is a treasure.
And hot.
Yeah, no, that's accurate.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Damn pathfinding. Sorry, continue. Oh, come on. I cannot get my
What?
fireball to go.
That's what she said, right?
Is that what she said, though?
That's what she said.
What?
That's what she said.
Yeah, I think like I'm actually a little sad that I've never got to play. So Ravenloft is like MT1STS, so is Ravenloft less racist as part of being gothic? It doesn't have anything to do with Lovecraft. It's like its whole deal is like the central element, the iconic element of Lovecraft is Count Lestrade or Count Strahd, I think, just Strahd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh? Ravenloft, yeah. Strahd is... Oh, yeah, Krellin points out that there's, like, apparently Romani caricatures in the original Ravenloft, which... This is the thing, I haven't actually read it. I just know about it, and people have told me that, on balance, it's cool.
I mean, it's probably because if it has Dracula stuff in it, like, that opens up. I mean, the guy who wrote Dracula wasn't a saint, so...
Nope, he was a Victorian.
He was not a saint. There's a lot of problematic gothic horror shit out there.
Oh, yeah. Do you know, like, there's, like, 2 big vampire stories that came out around that era, and there's, like, one of them's Dracula and the other's Varney?
Yes, I did know that. Who wrote Varney?
I do not remember.
Okay, hold on. I heard Varney was, like, pretty alright, actually. I'm gonna look it up. Varney the vampire. Oh. James Melvin Reimer. Who is this guy?
That's a cool name.
Oh, he wrote Petty Dreadfuls.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Oh, he wrote Sweeney Todd. Okay.
Oh,
this
nice.
is legit.
That's a fucking swinging double feature right there.
Yeah, this
He
guy's
did the
legit.
String of Pearls?
Yes, he did.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Man, this is why people romanticize the Victorian era, because just weird shit happened. You could just be a complete fucking weirdo and make money off of it. And I think, like, nerds are really attracted to that. But I feel like, I don't know, Victorian era is just so overplayed, and it's like... I don't feel like they get it right. I feel like a lot of people who write like steampunk and Victorian era shit nowadays, they gloss over the fact that like there are no unions, like everyone lived
Oh yeah,
in
Gilded
filth,
Age is great.
like murder, like all of this stuff happened, and like, oh, disease, don't forget the disease. Like they just were like, nah, forget about that. Everybody just dressed cool, and like everyone was friends with Sherlock, and everyone was friends with Jack the Ripper, and it's fine. It's like, no. There's so much more to it.
Yeah, like that's super important if you're doing Victorian fiction, is to like get into like how the whole thing was basically barely holding together.
Yeah. It's just like this it's like if you built a shack in a mud pit and then told people to fight each other every day. That was what it was like living in the Victorian era. Like,
And then there's like 2 dudes in suits stepping on the roof trying to ignore the fact that they're like standing over like a latrine filled with blood.
yes.
Just being like, oh, Raven, would you like a cucumber sandwich? Ira Jumper asks, Ritzgarn, how would you do the string of pearls in a tabletop game? If it was, well, assuming that I'm constraining it to just the events within the string of pearls, it would be a one-shot, it would be a detective's game, they would be searching for a missing person, and the culmination reveal would be the discovery that it was a barber that they met earlier.
Oh, yeah.
I've run some very successful mystery games, and that's kind of a genre I'm always happy to go back to. You gotta really like. I have strong opinions about tabletop role-playing mystery games.
Do you?
People run them wrong because they just stick them in like a regular setting where you have to like roll to search things or like roll to investigate things. And it's stupid to have a mystery story where you can just like accidentally miss a clue.
Okay, when you do mystery stories, is one person at the table the murderer?
That could be cool.
Have you ever done something like that before? Because it might be kind of fun.
I shouldn't say this, but I really wanted to run a whole campaign like that and not reveal it until the end. I'd still love to do that. Krell asks, what do you think about Gumshoe? To be honest, I stumbled onto Gumshoe after I'd kind of already made a system that did the exact same thing as Gumshoe. As I understand it, one of the appeals of like the Gumshoe system is that it gives you kind of a framework for coming up with mysteries. That wasn't really a part I needed help with, but having that would be really cool. So I can't give a qualified. I can't give an enlightened opinion on it.
Plus 20 cold resistance, -1 dexterity.
I wish there was a way to do a Columbo tabletop. That would be really exciting for me. Because the whole premise of Columbo is that he's like this detective who goes after these really rich and eccentric people. So like everyone could be an eccentric person, but one person would have to be Columbo, and they'd have to do a really good job at playing Columbo.
I would love a Columbo LARP so much.
Yes.
Like run it like a regular murder, like a regular sort of basic murder mystery.
Exactly.
But the detective is just Columbo.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Also, actually, the real way to do it would be to like tell everybody like, okay, now I'm running this for a friend, like a work friend. He's not like, you know, honestly, I don't think he's gonna be able to figure it out. Don't give him any hints or anything, but just like, you know, be nice to him.
Oh my god, yes. And
he's gonna be a little bit drunk.
Yes, have them show up in kind of a shabby outfit, like they're not taking this LARP seriously.
Like
that would be
like a Motorhead t-shirt.
Yes. That'd be so funny.
Are you all ready to go to the Fade?
Let's go in there.
And you go to the Fade in every other Dragon Age game. This one's the worst.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Alright, I have obliterated that room. Unfortunately, the tower has burned down. Okay, alright, Alistair, you have fun. Run into that earthquake and that firestorm. Yep, do it. Just show those guys who's boss.
Okay, so like, if magic really worked like this in the world of Dragon Age, let's say you worked at this tower, and people can throw entire firestorms inside of a tower. Like, yes, wouldn't you want some policies put in place to keep mages under control?
I have a question along those lines. So, how desperate do you think either the mages or the Templars had to get to put all these fucking bear traps everywhere? Why are there bear traps all over this place?
The Templars definitely set those fucking bear traps. It was absolutely a Templar's idea. There's no way it was a mage's idea.
You got this wagon full of bear traps. You guys want to try that? And everyone just looks at him like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's like, listen. I know I'm not supposed to, but on the weekends I go hunting, okay?
It's Cullen. I mean, we meet Cullen up here later. Like, it's definitely Cullen.
Like, oh, man. Come on.
Like,
you were supposed to be on duty that day, Cullen, and you were going hunting for bears? You know what, bud? Maybe you just get mad about it later. For now, let's set up the bear traps.
All right, you can have like 3 or 4 guys go set up your bear traps, and he's like, okay, he's got to have like 4 or 5 bear traps, and then you look over and he's just got like 5 carts full of bear traps.
No, and then the Templars start setting them up, and one Templar is like, what do we put as bait? Like, what do we put down? And like, just pick a book. Pick any book from the library. Those dumb mages love books.
Or just like, what do you mean bait? There's no bait. They're just gonna see it and know it's a bear trap.
Put down a book, I'm telling you. Like a Grand Enchanter walks by. What's this book doing here?
Oh my fucking god!
They're like, see, I told you, man. They love those books.
All right, so
return to
unfortunately,
the idea of like, how would you want to work in a building full of a bunch of people of
wait,
like
can we just?
unsound dispositions who could all cast fireballs?
Oh,
It's like,
no.
you know how like when you're in the
is
military,
the fade optional?
Oh, no way. No, you're not
shit.
there yet.
No, that was the fade guy down there. Like we talked to the
What?
Tranquil, and then we.
The statue quest finishes in that room.
Thank you.
I didn't know what that
Oh.
means.
Oh no, okay. I guess
Thank you.
this isn't that. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I thought we were there.
No, Jimmy
Cool.
says we're not down yet.
all right.
Wait, the statue quest is in
No,
in this
that was
room
just
down here?
No. That was just in a reference to a sign.
Oh no, okay, hang on.
In the
There's a
Rocky
statue
Mountains.
here.
I'm sorry. I realize that you don't get that. And in the Rocky Mountains, there's a sign that says, "Don't be
Lowest
fooled. You're not
levels
down
of the
yet." And it's just, I love
tower.
that sign. Sorry.
Oh right.
Yeah.
So this opens something, and then we have to go. Like after we finish, we go down there and fight it.
Jimmy, Bud.
Is in the basement.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So that's after we finish our. Okay. Right. Let's go.
Thank God Jimmy's here, right?
Oh yeah.
Cannot continue.
What were we talking about?
Stop it.
Bear traps and books.
Oh yes. Yeah, like you know how in the military, like
Going.
they do not trust you with a single round of ammunition if you're not supposed to have it. Like if you
Yeah.
don't have to have it.
That's
I feel like
another way
it's-
to solve murder mysteries. But
I
yes,
feel like
continue.
that's definitely that's a way to avoid murder mysteries. I think that's definitely how I would run a magic tower. Like, okay, you
Yeah.
got a staff, a book. Okay, check them out at the desk.
No, but you can shoot fireballs from your hands in this world, Rutsguard.
Ah, fuck, that's true.
So, I don't know. I feel like if I was a normal person in Dragon Age, I'd be like, mages, stay away from me forever. I've seen, they literally can create firestorms. It's basically a bomb.
How does magic education and class work in Dragon Age?
It is time.
It
for
looks like they
supper.
just teach you how to throw fireballs, man.
Oh no, I mean like social class. Like,
Oh.
who are
I
these? Are
don't
these like
know.
aristocratic kids? How does that work?
I don't
And
think you go to
candy
school in Dragon Age. I don't think there's school for normal people. Wow, those boobies are out. Holy shit.
Yeah,
They just
I
had
forgot
boobies
how-
out?
Do you not
They just
remember
really
this?
went for it, huh? I know.
I
I
don't
actually,
remember full
I don't
boobies.
remember this either.
Yeah, no, they've got little like fucking metal pasties.
That
And
is
it's like, why didn't you just
unfortunate.
go for like? Why didn't you just do the whole thing?
Wow.
That's like more salacious and more cowardly at the same time.
Do you hear
Yeah.
something, love?
It is nothing, my darling. Just the door.
They just sort of swung for the fences on this one. They swung for the fences and then they had someone grab the ball and bring it back inside the fences like a few inches.
Yeah, they're like, wait. At least put
Don't
tassels
be
on
long,
there. Okay,
the
bud, that's
children
good.
Let's
will
put some
want to
sexy ass
kiss you
tassels on him
goodnight.
today.
I will be but a
Dave just got back from the stripper joint, and they have tassels on them. So make sure she's wearing tassels.
Yeah. No, those like crossing things on her hips. Can we get those down a quarter inch? All I need is a quarter inch. I'm very close.
They gotta look like a pro wrestler's thong. Like that pro wrestler Lita. Okay, that's just for the people who watch wrestling. That's just a joke for us. These guys don't get that joke, but we do.
That is correct. No, but like, are these like members of the nobility? Do you think they're like in wizard towers, or do you think it's just like anybody who shows
If you
aptitude?
member of nobility, why the fuck would you ever go to a wizard tower?
Yeah,
except
no,
for to steal one
it's
to
straight
fight your
up.
wars?
It's
Is abhorrent.
It's the
I saw
Jedi,
his
basically.
loneliness
They
and
go and they
longing
get,
for
you
a
know, the
family
babies
that
who
I
have
see.
the magic powers, and they
She's
raise them in
feeding
the
off his
tower so that
enemy's
they don't become a
desires and
danger to
taking away
everybody,
his
and
will.
also maybe,
This-
or maybe not, that
this is
that's actually
unholy.
a real thing.
No one else
Oh
would
man.
have known
Okay,
his
no, but if I
heart.
was a noble, I definitely
He
would
did not
rent
know
out.
himself.
I would rent a mage. Can you do that? Like, hey, I need to rent a mage because there's some bandits trying to
Probably
get my
not
land.
officially.
I am a
but,
noble.
I mean, you know, money opens all doors.
I have a serf. I have
I mean,
serfs
like,
I
it's
have to take care of.
literally a major plot point of what we're dealing with right now. Remember Redcliffe? Connor, Arl Eamon's son, has magical abilities, like, is capable of being a mage, and normally that would lead to him getting, you know, sent to the mage's tower and just living there for the entirety of his existence.
But then also
obviously,
not being able to like reproduce and continue the aristocratic line.
right. Well, obviously, Eamon and his wife don't want that to happen, so they're hiding it. And they hired Jowan to teach him in secret, and then Jowan was also an agent of Loghain and fucked everything up.
Okay, that's a cool story, and would you believe that I did not comprehend that 100%, like, during this entire LP? Like,
I mean, it's
completely
not
missed out
exactly
that
like
was
we've been
happening.
focusing on this
Big
stuff.
Same.
Yeah. So it's okay. So is it safe to say, as I'm speculating here as somebody who doesn't know much about Dragon Age lore, but who's kind of putting the pieces together just now, that there's a lot of tension. That a lot of the tension in this setting around magic comes from the fact that they're taking a bunch of people who have no vested interest in the status quo and using them to enforce the status quo, like with their magic powers that would give them the power to change it.
Nah.
No, that happens.
I don't think that ever comes up again. Nah, no, not anymore in the series at all. No. They just kind of forget about mages.
That's just it. You never use mages again to wield power and change things politically ever again.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
Josh?
Yep, doesn't happen.
That's
Okay,
great.
cool.
In fact, like, there's not even any mages in Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition. They just kind of, like, wrote them out of the setting.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah,
Wow.
they just got eggs. They just got so many eggs. And sometimes they talk and you're like, shut up, egg, you're stupid.
Weird. Very strong storytelling choice, though.
Thank you.
I think if you wanted to draw parallels to any particular, like, social order in medieval Europe that mages
Clergy?
resemble, it would be not the clergy specifically, but like monasteries.
Right, because like clergy in
Yeah.
general is like, you know, you
Okay.
could be from any, like you could often be from like a more aristocratic background where it's like, whoops, too many sons.
Yeah, kind of. Of course, it's not really a choice to become a mage or not. It's something you're born with, but.
Well, they're
yeah,
like
it's
going for the
similar in
X-Men
that.
thing. It's like
Yeah.
a mix between
Yeah.
the X-Men and clergy, I guess. Anyway, what are we doing here, Josh?
Anyway, so there's this desire demon who's convinced this Templar that he has a family and kids and whatever, and they have a nice life. And
We are partners.
she's
I
arguing
give him
that this
what
is
no one else
cool.
can, and through him,
Cool with
I
it. That seems
experience
fine.
What it is to be
We
more
can just straight up let them go.
He deserves to
What
be free of you,
happens?
to find his
He
own
has gone
happiness.
through life empty, resentful of his vows. You would return him to this? I want nothing from you.
Can't Templars
I
get
have
married,
what I
lady?
need.
Nope.
No, yes,
All
they
I
can.
I mean,
Is that you leave us?
yes,
Cullen
they can.
can, but-
Colin got married to the Inquisitor.
look, that wasn't in
Multiple
this game.
playthroughs. Mumbles, which ex-mutant would be the best friend? Like
Perhaps
my
we
best
will
friend
escape.
forever? Or just the
Perhaps
best
we
friend
will
in
not.
general?
Probably Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler would make a good best friend. My favorite. I think that I would be really good friends with Jubilee, though, hands down.
That was actually the second one that came to mind.
Yeah.
So if we attempt to stop her, she will convince this guy that we are trying to burn down his house, air quotes, and kill his children, and he will fight us and die.
Okay.
Okay. So the moral dilemma is: do we let someone live in delusion and waste away into nothingness? Or do we murder him in a fiery battle full of stabby things?
Yeah, basically.
What say you, Redscarn?
Sure. I don't give a shit.
Sure? Sure which way?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
It's time to roll the decision
I think
dice.
we should do the option that is the first one.
Dude, this is not cool. You gotta pick something.
Okay. Let him live.
With his desire demon?
Sure. It's not
Okay.
our place. Can't
Yeah,
shame
that sounds fine. I'm cool with that.
So, do we want to say
The
find and
situation
do with
you
him
are in
as you
is
wish,
intriguing.
or
I will
yeah.
let you live. That's my data impression.
I enjoyed that one because, like,
That means anything to you. You will not see us
like
again.
your party's just not really
Was
gonna know
that
how
the
to
right
respond to
thing to
that.
It seems wrong.
It's kind of implied that like maybe
That's
this
a
is
good thing,
actually
isn't
all
it?
she wants
Come,
anyway,
my pet. We are going for a
Okay.
walk.
but
The children want you to show them.
I mean,
all
it's
the
like
stars in
I
the night
have to stress that I was not really clear on what the situation was, but putting this together probably is evil.
Drutsguard. Instead, you just said, "Yep."
Yeah, go for it.
Chris is all, I won't have anything to say about Dragon Age. And Red
That's
Scar's
fine.
over here
You know
like,
what? No,
what's
fine.
even,
I'd
what is
rather he-
Dragon Age?
I was
No,
just
I
thinking about fantasy classism.
He doesn't get to be here if he doesn't want to. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna force Camster. If you don't want to be here, don't be here.
We can,
I mean,
Eliana, have some fire arrows.
you guys like, you ever hear about how wild Oxford was back in the medieval ages?
Oh yeah.
What?
Like,
Like the college?
yeah.
Yeah, like the college, because like who goes to Oxford in the Middle Ages? It's like the sons of aristocracy, right?
Okay.
So it's a bunch of like dudes, guys being dudes, hanging out with other dudes near this town, and basically just like every other year in Oxford, somebody would kill somebody.
Ooh.
It would be like
Murder
some
mystery.
students, yeah, some students would like murder a townie, or some townies would like.
Oh, the and
just
the
some students.
Ooh.
Or
That's
there'd
a
be a
Yeah.
riot and they'd kill each other.
Ooh, fun.
the residents of Oxford did not particularly like the students at the College of Oxford.
No. It was like townies versus college kids.
Oh, that's not.
But also in the age of murder.
I wanted it to be like the rich people killing the rich people for fun, killing with guns. Well, not
No.
guns because it was the Middle Ages.
It's the rich students running around killing like
No, that's
low
not
class
fun.
day laborers because
No.
they were aristocrats and could
Yeah.
get away with it.
That's not fun
But then
at
they
all.
couldn't, because then the day laborers would basically run it back.
Oh man. Oh, can you imagine how good of a day it would be when someone put an axe through some fucking rich noble's head?
Just so fucking preppy. Just like, oh god, thank god, I hated that guy. It's probably gonna be literal war now, but
It'd
whatever.
be so good. That one day would be so good.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm
I think
off.
I should get a mod that makes
So it's like whenever I think about like fantasy, like magic, it's like if you think about it, like all right, so magic, you got to study it. Probably it's gonna be like rich people studying it, and
Yeah.
because also they're gonna maintain the status quo. And like imagine how fucking bad it would suck to be like the townies around the magical university where a bunch of
My
snotty
God,
rich kids
yeah.
are learning how to throw fireballs.
Well, that's like why I got in an argument with my husband the other day about like sorcerers versus wizards versus witches. And I feel like those three should exist in every fantasy because sorcerers are like, I'm born with this shit and I'm pretty powerful.
Right.
Wizards are like, I studied this shit and I'm real nerdy about it and probably rich. And witches are like, I'm in a bog. I make potions. And I want all three to exist at the same time and fight with each other.
Yeah, I mean that's the cool deal about Pathfinder.
Is it really?
Yeah, Pathfinder has all those classes. It has a sorcerer,
Oh.
it has a wizard, and it has witch.
Oh, okay. I fucking didn't know at all. I just assumed that's how magic works.
Yeah, no, like I think Pathfinder might be the only RPG I can think of off the top of my head that just has a witch class.
Oh man, yeah. Did they do the thing with living in bogs and making potions?
Pretty much. Yeah. Like, you know, like they're pretty much like, yeah, if you want to be like a straight up bog witch, that's 100% doable.
Hell yeah.
The first character I played using that rule set was I just played like a mermaid sea witch character.
Fuck yeah.
Just like scary as shit.
Mermaid on the top, person on the bottom.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You have to make some decisions when you're playing a mermaid in like a game that takes place largely on land.
Yeah.
Like when somebody asked like midway through the one shot that we were doing was like, how does your mermaid character get around? Like, because you got a movement speed of 5. So it's how does your mermaid get from like one area to the other? And I had to think about it. And I was just like, I guess she just like walks on her hands, and the other player's just like, nope, don't like that. And then like 6 months later, I ran a pirate campaign, and that player played a mermaid, and she's like, yeah, so I'm playing an oracle, and I have the ability that allows me to levitate above the ground, and yes, I took that specifically because I didn't want to have to walk around with my fucking hands everywhere.
That's smarter than my solution, which is goat with a cart. I have a goat and a cart, and I sit on the cart when I'm on land, and the goat takes me around.
And it's just like, when you're on a ship, it's just the cart's just rolling around everywhere.
Exactly.
And you're just like, fuck, holy shit.
And you have to keep the goat safe. It's really important to succeeding in the campaign, is that the goat is safe.
It's just like this matted goat. We discovered, like, I had an ability, like a hex, where I could, that was really, really overpowered, where you could just kind of put people to sleep easily. And so what I would do, because I could also fly, turn on like a fly ability, was I would just like, when we were fighting another ship, I'd just fly over there, like through the fog bank. I'd just sleep the dudes on watch, and then I'd just kind of like pick them up and carry them over on the waves,
There you go.
like 80 yards out and drop them.
Are we in the fade? We're in the fade.
Yep.
Woohoo.
Whoa.
Woo.
Fuck.
Where's our buds?
They are not here right now. They're busy.
Okay.
Two cats.
It was a cool game. It's just, I just wish I liked it more.
Ah, there you are.
What?
I'm not disturbing
Like
you, am I?
Pathfinder, like,
Uh.
yeah, it's like,
Dead?
they've got a
Me?
lot of shit in it that's neat.
I have been close many times.
I just don't like
but I
how
never quite made it all the way.
much you have to
I just
learn,
wanted to make sure you
and
were
like
happy
how
myself.
much that knowledge
Oh,
ends
yeah.
up dominating the
Grand hall
experience.
was
It's-
built by the first Grey
It's
Warden.
very much
Isn't it
like
breathtaking?
that line, that through line from the initial version of Dungeons and Dragons through AD&D and 2nd edition and 3rd edition to like, hey, let's make things more and more complex and give you more like stuff to play around with in terms of stats and combat.
Yeah.
But you know, also continued that through line of this is like increasingly overcomplicated and full of pitfalls.
Yeah.
The Darkspawn are gone, remember?
Oh my god, and then
You
when
were
it's
there in the
ocean,
last
the
great battle.
goat could be on the
It was a
cart, and I
triumph
could
for
pull
all
it.
of us.
I would
Bringing
be the
down
goat.
archdemon,
Oh my
setting
God.
the
Like,
underground
the goat is
lairs
just jet
ablaze.
skiing.
Oh my god, I'd be the happiest goat alive.
This goat's seen some
The Grey
shit.
Wardens shall be keepers of history. We
Like,
shall
the
tell
goat is just
tales
level
and
8.
sing songs
Yes,
of a more
he's a-
glorious
Wait, what?
tough
I'm a
goat.
goat?
that others
He's
may
like, I'm a
rejoice
ram
in
now.
knowing that that time is
Billy
past.
Goat Gruffest.
The Duncan you know was a man forged in the fires of war. I am different now.
Oh, we're talking
At
to
peace. I
Is
have
he
learned
tranquil
to be
now?
tranquil.
Tranked Up
He's a
Duncan.
dream.
Oh, he's in a dream. Is he
No,
tranquil
we're in
a
a dream where he is here.
Why is he tranquil? He's a
Gosh,
demon.
I mean, yeah, there's no
Jimmy's
way to
like,
So
he's a
much
demon,
in
mumbles.
cast
Yeah.
in
I
my
mean, this is
face.
obviously not Duncan.
Can you not
This is
One thing he's
comprehend
calling us
the
a
peace
foolish
I
child.
offer?
That's too much heat for Duncan.
And he hasn't
Right.
offered us a single donut.
Oh my god. Take that joke back.
No.
Take it back.
Red Skarn is allowed to make bad jokes.
Fucking win!
No one actually ever gave me that power. I just had
No one
to.
gave him that power. He just does it.
It's very much the judicial review of our spoiler warning rules.
I guess I called from a
You
car
want
today.
creamy
I
goodness,
can't really
I'm
say
your
anything.
friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend. The tainted latte light. This whole inquisition is out of sight. Lining up for my Duncancino. What's my name? Duncancino.
Get me out of here.
Duncancino.
Get me back in my car. Benry, do you need more mice to eat? Okay.
What I like about the internet is that I can just type in Duncancino lyrics and someone was stupid enough to give them to me.
Is this sword fight usually went in the old-timey times? Just bonking one after another?
Surprisingly, no. That's not how that worked.
What?
Actually. This is a thing, but we can't get it, and I'm annoyed.
MT1ST, is that an actual song? Yes and no. It is not an actual song in the sense that it's like a real song that like a person with a soul created, but it is part of the film Jack and Jill, and it is actually sung by Al Pacino.
Oh my god. That's right.
Yeah, it's part of a quote-unquote fake Dunkin' Donuts commercial that's in the film starring Al Pacino. I say quote-unquote because it is in fact just an actual Dunkin' Donuts commercial starring Al Pacino that was placed in a film.
The demon traps everything that comes here in a dream it thinks they can't or won't try to leave. I thought I'd escape too, but I've been wandering these empty grey spaces for a lifetime.
Weird thing to exist in the real world.
Did we? I apologize if I've forgotten. This place.
Our buddy. This
does
bud.
strange things to your
No,
mind.
the dude.
I am Njal, if you didn't know already.
We met this
I was
guy
trying to save
briefly
the
during the
circle when I
tutorial.
encountered the sloth demon.
I think.
I expect our
Is he a
experiences were
tranquil?
No, he's a mage. He's the one who was gonna get the scrolls of Banastor, which are supposed to stop blood mages and use them to stop Uldred. But then he ran into a sloth demon and took a permanent nap.
I just had a mental image of like Dorian from
Owain
Dragon
helped
Age
me
Inquisition
greatly.
being like, scrolls of what?
I
And
suppose
just like
one of the
burns it up.
Litany was our weapon against the blood
Litany of
mages.
Adrala, sorry, Scrolls of Banastor
But
or
it's
some
too
other
late.
thing in our codex.
Everyone's dead.
Scrolls of Banastor sound like a joke item from like a 1980s Dungeons and Dragons
Must have
comic
been
from Dragon
practicing
magazine.
secrets, even teaching others.
That's a specific joke, but those who know I'm right.
Trusted them.
Yikes.
That's like
Litany was
exactly
our
how
only
that whole
hope
shit
of
worked.
saving the circle. But now, this
Take a
place
real,
brings you
mildly
everything.
funny word and add a fantasy spelling to it, and you can pretty much clock out for the day.
He explained the mage political parties and the mage origin. Are you sure? I guess he was with that other guy that we were talking to about those, but I remember the guy we were talking to because that was the guy that we were talking to when I brought up what Fade-Ass was. And that guy had a beard.
Oh, I thought you said
No,
fade
there is no
ass,
way
and I was
out
really
of
excited.
You think there might
Does
That
the
girl's got
Fade have an
fade
ass?
See that pedestal there?
We must find it.
I've studied the runes on it. Runes
The
that
Fade Ass.
signify
Take me to
different
the Fade
islands of the
Ass.
demon's domain.
It is from the Fade
Sloth
Ass that
demon
we get to
itself
the
is on
taint.
center island, but you can't get there. The 5 islands around the center somehow form a protective ward. I thought I was getting somewhere when I figured that out.
Oh,
You enter
this
libertarians
island
or
and turn
Aquarians?
and
I'm
get
more
my
of a
hate
Virgo,
stashed.
so I don't
There's
know
always
either of these
an
others from
obstacle.
you.
You'll see the path, but the
I think
unable
I'm a
to get to it.
Scorpio?
And it taunts
If you enter
and
the
drives
Fade
you
from the
mad.
Fade, does that mean you're getting crossfaded?
Ooh!
All right. Well, it's been fun, everybody. Goodbye.
If anybody's wondering, I did, when I was in college, have to have a cooler person explain to me what that word meant.
Still don't know what it means.
It means being drunk and high at the same time.
Whoa, that's like me at Spider-Man 3.
So
Right,
the
baby?
appropriate way to watch that movie then.
Just like drunk and high off of drugs, or just off of the thrill of watching Spider-Man
know.
3.
One of the
There
one
were
of the
many
best
dreamers.
stories is so
You
Spider-Man
might
3 is
find a way to
apparently a
reach
bad
them
film,
through the
but I
island.
saw it drunk and high and in the theater with a bunch of other people who were drunk and high.
That was
so
probably a blast.
we thought it was amazing, and I told my husband this, and so now we have a running joke that he wants me to watch Spider-Man 3,
I don't know
and I will not.
much.
You have to watch Spider-Man 3, not just stone sober, but like in a state of increased sobriety, like after a
Oh,
hangover
no.
or something.
They take
Oh,
Where just
God.
you hate everything.
Oh,
And then, like,
God.
you need
That may
to
be the
plot
only way to
Spider-Man
reach
3's
the slot
positioning
line.
then, and just,
to
like,
get to
average it
first.
out to give an
Oh my
honest,
God.
the most honest review of Spider-Man 3
No
that has
way.
ever
I
been
was
written.
too afraid to
And
try.
ruin my perfect memory of Spider-Man 3?
I don't actually have any objections to
Not
Spider-Man
much.
3.
You couldn't say we were friends, really. Demons have their own high.
Apparently, like, there are parts of it that are,
play their own
like,
games
I mean,
and
I just like
mortals
Sam Raimi
servers.
being goofy.
Yeah.
Pawns, perhaps even bargaining chips. The demon keeping us here probably rules this entire section.
It's like, if you, at this
of
point, you know,
It will
I
not
guess I
let us
get
go
it, but, like,
easily.
at this point, if you want a
At all.
Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man doesn't, like,
Nothing
jazz dance
dampens
down the
your
streets of
spirit,
New
does
York
it?
while dressed like an
I
emo,
don't know whether to admire
you've
or
got so many
pity.
options now. There's like
Yeah.
6 of those movies.
Yeah.
Yes. Obstacles.
Who's gonna play the
mad
other
green
Electro?
things. A river of flame before a portal.
There's
I feel
gonna
like they're
be
gonna, yeah.
door
of 'em?
that shows you freedom through
I
a
feel like-
keyhole that no key will
Like,
fit.
yeah, maybe, I mean,
once
they're
found a
gonna, because they have to
passageway
have, like, the
smaller than
Jamie
my
Foxx
hand with a
Electro
mouse going
track.
Yeah.
to and fro through it.
But, like, I'm sure they're gonna want to do, like, a legit
Everything
Electro.
fled before I could
Didn't they
question it.
do Electro in one of these movies?
Well, Electro was in the old one.
Oh, there are
Well,
many.
didn't they have, like, a dude with scars all over his
Many
face or something that they
dreamers.
said he was Electro?
No.
Some think they're mice.
What? In the newer one?
Others wolves.
Yeah, like in the MCU.
nightingales.
Wasn't that like
What?
the end of the
Each
first
dreamer
movie?
may
I thought that was
be
just
things another may
Scorpio.
not.
I don't
A
know.
mouse could have told
I
me
don't
what
know.
lay beyond
Yeah,
the
I might be thinking
Shocker! It was
How to
Shocker.
get there.
It was Shocker.
Even how
Who's
I
just
might
a
make
joke
myself
anyway.
small like him.
Yeah, Shocker is
crawl through
hilarious.
myself. And if one could become small enough to take one
He just
path,
has, like, a big old, like,
perhaps there are
down
similar
quilt,
ways to walk the
like, triple
others.
ply costume, and that's hilarious.
Right. I
Don't
remember
mind
now.
me then.
They
Yeah.
brought back J.K. Simmons as
J. Jonah Jameson.
yeah, for like the credit stinger of
Yeah,
of-
and they
Yeah.
they did the thing everybody's doing now, which makes a lot of sense, where he basically just Alex Jones.
yeah.
But now all of the MCU, like, quote-unquote Sony tie-ins are all fake-outs. They've been fake-outs this whole... Every single one has been a fake-out.
Quicksilver.
Yes. Famously.
So, welcome to the Fade, a massive 4-hour-long puzzle dungeon where we have to discover how to shapeshift into various different forms that will give us abilities that are basically all just normal mage abilities. So, like, who even cares? It goes on altogether too long, in the middle of a dungeon that was already going on for too long, in the middle of a quest chain that has and will continue to go on for too long. We're just in the thick of it right now.
She protects her master, Sloth.
It protects her master, a sloth.
A door only demons can see.
So the
King
gimmick
must be
here
in
is
another
we,
realm.
like I said, we
Take my
learn
power.
how to
Save any
transform
others
into
trapped
various
in
different
nightmares.
forms that
Kill
allow
the
us to
demons that
explore
guard
this
Sloth.
area
Make
in
mine.
different ways.
Didn't they do the shtick in the tutorial too, where there was like a rat?
There
that
was
like,
there was a rat. I believe it was actually
That
voiced
rat
by
is
the same
Blade.
guy who voices Niall actually, and looked exactly
Yeah.
like him too. So now we can turn into a mouse. We have the ability to stealth, and that's
I'm
it.
a little mouse.
But we can
I
use these
missed it.
mouse holes.
But did we miss, like, was there an option to see the mouse and be like, why is there a talking mouse here?
I don't know. We're
I don't
mage,
think
so
so
we know
at
that
this
we know about the fade.
Yeah.
We know the fade can be a little weird.
We do, but like I remember that like I
Disturbing
think there was an
spreadsheet.
option in the beginning that was like, why is there a mouse here? And I really like the idea of somebody who just does not get it and refuses to get it.
Just continues to refuse to get it.
Notably, I think the most important thing to note about this segment from like a cultural and historical standpoint is that repeatedly in this segment, the same violin sting that is supposed to sound uncomfortable plays when Kitchen Nightmares is showing bad stuff happening in a restaurant that Gordon Ramsay is exploring.
What?
It's this very distinct, like shrill violin string.
Oh man. Is it literally the same sound file?
It is exactly the same. Clearly from the same
Man.
like stock sound site that they got those from. Plays in every goddamn episode of the US version of Kitchen Nightmares. That's the most notable thing because I heard it first here.
Back in the day, my folks actually had a restaurant they went to pretty regularly that ended up on Kitchen Nightmares all of a sudden.
Did they know that the food was bad before Kitchen Nightmares arrived?
I can't tell you that. I will say that, you know, at the time especially, they did not have, I would say, a bounty of restaurant options available.
See,
What happened?
I think that they stayed went there semi-regularly. I guess they didn't have any strong objections.
Were you small enough to get through?
But yeah, they went afterwards, and then it closed like 3 months later or whatever.
Oh, wow.
You're so much braver than I am. I was so sure it was impossible to get anywhere. Do you think you could learn other shapes? Maybe they could help you get to places you couldn't otherwise.
The irritating thing about this segment is really nothing important happens. You know, there are no great revelations.
The thing people don't. Sorry. Okay.
Right.
Not to interrupt your statements, saying that there's nothing to talk about, but like, the thing about Kitchen Nightmares is that like, if you think about it, everybody in the area is gonna watch that episode where like your local restaurants and Kitchen Nightmares, and the only part you're gonna remember is the part where it's like, oh yeah, the sous chefs regularly wipe their balls on like your entrees. Like, nobody's gonna remember any of like the shit where it becomes a good restaurant at the end. They're just gonna remember it as, oh my god, this whole time I've been eating food that was like, it had like giant mold clusters in it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would agree to it.
That's kind of the problem.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I never understood watching that show.
Yeah.
I always knew people who liked watching that show and would, like, force me to watch it with them sometimes, but it just didn't seem like a good idea. Who wins? Nobody wins. Gordon Ramsay wins. That's it.
The interesting thing is, the UK version of it is significantly better. Like, the US version, they obviously, like, play up the drama through a variety of editing techniques and you know, just generally, Gordon Ramsay being more confrontational and ruder in it. In the UK version, they play it in such a way that it's very much more like Gordon Ramsay is concerned about this restaurant and wants to make it better, and the, you know, the problems that people face are usually like much more mundane and like, oh, there's this chef who, you know, used to be hot shit but you know, doesn't quite know how to innovate anymore, and Gordon Ramsay gives him tips and, you know, eventually gets, you know, through the guy's ego a bit, but it's like done in a way that's much less like overly dramatic.
That sounds much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, the US version is basically just like, here are some like shitty delusional people running a germ farm. Let's slap a fresh coat of paint on it and then leave it to fester.
Totally.
Exactly. Boy, long week.
Yeah.
Dark Spawn. That's cool. They're on fire.
Dark Spawn in the Fade. That's
I mean,
weird.
it's dreams, so
Yeah. I've had COVID dreams.
Oh no.
Let's fight COVID in the face.
Oh
It's true.
no. What?
Like, my more reoccurring dream is I will be somewhere, like at a beach or in the mall or something, and then my brain will be like, it's COVID time. Didn't you know it's COVID time? And then I'll look around and no one's wearing masks and there's too many people and everyone's breathing on me and I have to like run out of the area, and by that point I have COVID.
Oh,
That fucking sucks.
That's always the dream.
That super sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody else had the thing happen where they'll like watch, they like have a surprisingly bad frame of reference for when this started, where it's like,
oh yeah, like
it's like I watch stuff from like I'll see something that's from like 2019, I'll be like, okay, so that would be when they had a little bit of COVID. Or like, you know, it's like 2018. That was like kind of an early COVID period where like people were just starting to think about wearing masks. It's so weird to actually like cudgel the brain to being like, no, dipshit. Nobody was thinking about COVID at all in 2019. It wasn't a thing.
So that wasn't.
It's
doable.
just like it wasn't a thing in the U.S. It's like it just suddenly appeared over the span of about 1 fucking week in the U.S. as a thing that people were actually doing something about, and then it just became the deal.
Really.
Oh my god, as we were talking, I just got a text notification that my J&J vaccine was changed to Pfizer.
What?
And I have to get a second dose.
Fuck.
That sucks.
I don't know what I'm gonna do now, man. I guess I should just get it anyway.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
vaccine in the hand is worth not having one, I guess. I don't know.
Hand in the bushel? Question mark? Yeah. Shit. I'm gonna text Nick and see if he had the same thing happen. If he gets the J&J, I'm gonna lose my mind. Let's see.
The J.J. Abrams.
Never any shortage of these ones.
And that sucks. Oh well. That's just how it
So,
be.
like, what did they give you an explanation?
They ran out.
Oh.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
you know, as long as they ran out and didn't just, like, lose it.
Oh, for sure.
Cool.
Or if it was a bad batch, that's even scarier. I'm glad it's not that.
As I understand it, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is being prioritized for areas where, like, people getting 2 shots is infeasible.
Yeah. The only problem is that I'm driving like 2 hours to go get it. So I'm wondering if I should just... I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. Because now it becomes a situation where the next appointment is automatically scheduled 21 days later. So if that falls on a weekday, I have to take that day off, basically.
Right, yeah. Because, like, yeah, it's like a 4-hour round trip.
Right.
Damn, that's that's crazy. Are you like driving to Colorado Springs or something?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I am actually. Because I was like, it's fine to do it once on a Saturday.
Yeah.
That's no problem. Whatever.
That's crazy. Like.
Well, if it's 21
was
days later,
literally...
then I guess that's gonna be exactly 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Would it fall on a Saturday?
I mean, it would have to, right? Because it's like 7 days, 7 days.
21 days.
That's how mine worked. Is the day I scheduled my first one, it was just like that day plus 4 weeks.
Oh, you know what? Fine. I'll do it. That's totally fine. Because then I can just go on another Saturday. I'll live with that. Thanks for talking me through my vaccine stuff on a stream on Twitch.
On stream?
No, I do appreciate it though. I like panicked for a second there. Like, oh.
Which plays Public Health Crisis.
Great. In the fade. Of course it happens while we're in the fucking fade. At least it wasn't the deep roads. That's, I guess, worse.
Oh, yeah. The Deep Roads, like, if we haven't already started our tabletop RPG shtick, the Deep Roads is for sure when that's gonna go down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you kidding me? The button just fell off one of my favorite pair of pants.
Oh, goodbye button.
Yeah.
You will be missed.
I'll just stick it in the pocket.
No one knows how to fix it.
We can fix it. We are.
Yay, we can fix it.
Yes.
Quickly, eat the button so no one can fix it.
So this pair of pants has a pocket, which in terms of dimensions, I would describe it as being designed to hold a button that has fallen off and nothing else.
Eat the button so you can never fix it.
Oh, they don't take fire damage. That's cool.
Oh. Oh, that was gross.
Yeah, it's walking bomb.
Going.
This one has the fire behind it that I killed myself on, right? No? No? Alright. That one does. I think this is an area we can't actually really do anything in until we get the Flaming Man ability. Are these guys also flaming? Alright. Come on. Oh, the other guy died. Oh. That was annoying. Woo, the Fade. Ain't this a cool place?
Yep.
Oh, better not be a mouse right there.
Oh, bud.
They died. So have either of you played Valheim?
Nope.
No.
Oh, I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've been playing it with Jacob and Chris and Landon from Discord and a few other friends.
It's a multiplayer game, right?
It doesn't have to be, but it is like a survival game.
Eh.
Alright,
Well.
freeze that guy and this guy.
It is sort of wild to compare, like, once Neverwinter Night happens, how much of Bethesda's, like, environment started to kind of look like this.
Once what
Yeah.
happens?
Neverwinter Nights happened. Started to just kind of look like this, like, big square room with some pillars in it, kind of repeating
Bethesda's
tiles.
environments.
Did I say Bethesda?
I was like,
BioWare.
what does Bethesda have to do with Neverwinter Nights?
I did mean BioWare. But yeah.
Oh, jeez. Hang on. What?
What?
Unable to heal. Oh, fuck. Well,
Alright, well, we've
died
lost all the progress from this session so far.
I think it saved right before we entered this room, so...
Fantapples.
If you were gonna make the next Bioshock game, what era of human history would you make it during?
My immediate answer was Prohibition, but I should probably think about it.
Bioshock?
Wild West.
Nice. But would it take place in the Wild West or like a weird place like the sky or the ocean?
Yeah, it would be like
The
a crazy
Sky
industrial-
West.
It'd be like George Hurst made like just like was mining and he discovered like a race of mole people inside a mountain, and so he like took over their city and like is running it as his new libertarian utopia.
Okay.
It'd be all about like kind of that era of like big men industrialism, and like he would basically be Elon Musk is the
What's
probably
the
the deal.
twist?
Okay, I'm just gonna go with the first thing that comes to mind here. The twist of it is that he's actually not even like a human. He's part of like another race, and he's basically setting humanity up to be colonized as part of his own like big man colonization shtick from his alien species. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's the like political commentary? Because each one's like, I'm talking about Ayn Rand.
100%. Like Elon Musk, the idea of like people really buying the idea that like one guy is a huge badass and is like can save the world as long as you give him all of your money and don't ask for a salary increase.
Oh man.
Oh right, some of these are.
That was like a big deal in the mid 19th century in America. Like not that it isn't all the time, but like the kind of, you know, the like the Hearst shit and like the Horatio Alger shit, where it's just like, oh, all you need to do is trust in like the robber barons and everything will be okay. Trust us.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of bringing that back.
Josh, were you in arcane horror for a second there?
Yeah. Now I have the ability to turn into a spirit.
That's an arcane horror. That ain't no
Clearly,
spirit.
it's a spiritual arcane horror.
No.
Anyway, so it has some interesting abilities. This is more interesting if you're not a mage and thus don't have access to these spells normally, but since I am a mage, it's, you know, not as interesting.
Jimmy says you can't do anything here anymore.
Yeah, that's
I don't know what that means, but I figure you would.
I think I got the thing that was important.
What about you, Mumlo? Which era would you set Bioshock?
Oh, Wild West is good, let me think.
Does it need to be about libertarians again?
No, it has to be, it's like, well, I don't think the second game was about libertarians.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's tough.
Meiji era Japan.
Oh, fun.
Wild.
Ooh, real fun.
I think I just assume that like that goes without saying that we're not doing this with like Ken Levine's permit.
Right, no. Fuck that guy.
Caveman times.
It's literally just the Geico caveman commercial people.
And the plasmids are just actual fire. It's like, this guy can throw fire from his hands. He's like, yeah, I figured out how to make it. I'm just throwing it at you.
I think I want to do something with the 80s. I think that's what I want. And I think I want it to take place in a mall. And I think I want it to be about capitalism, but also like the stupid DARE system that they invented in the fucking 80s about like drugs and the war on drugs.
Right.
Oh shit.
I think that's what I would make it. And then the twist is, of course, that whoever's in charge, like, invented the super drug or something, and, like, is judging everybody else for just doing recreational shit. That's what I would do.
Oh, what the...
The real drug is capitalism.
Because, like, the 80s have such a fun aesthetic, and if it literally takes place in a mall, like, that would be the funnest game.
That would make a lot of sense. Like, both in terms of Bioshock's mechanics and in terms of, like, where you could go with it.
Yeah, I think that might be it for me.
Just like if you need to heal, you just go to like the Wetzel's Pretzels or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be like that one game that came out a long time ago where you're like a war journalist.
Oh,
the Capcom game?
Yeah.
Dead Rising?
Yeah, I'd be like that.
Man, that is the wildest way of describing Dead Rising.
How did I describe it? I don't even remember.
The game where you're a war journalist. Like, oh, you mean the game where you dress up in costumes and beat zombies to death and watch peep shows? Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, what's wrong with my brain?
What's like... I should try to play Dead Rising again now that I've like kind of finally grokked how like Japanese video games work in general.
spider trap. But it's cool. Wow, that was a useful mouse hole. It took us right back to the fucking start. Why is it even a thing?
Why is it even a thing?
This is the problem with this fucking section, is there's so many different cul-de-sacs to explore. And it's all in this non-linear fashion where it's just, magic teleport door. I wonder where this goes. Okay, this one goes there, and that one goes there, and so on. The only cool part about this is that we get, as you can see, I've been running into these statues, and you can get attribute point level ups by just talking to these, using those glowing things.
I like that in games. They dumbed it down in Inquisition where it's like, touch this mirror and get +1 strength, and you're like, come on, man.
Oh, an ogre.
Oh, big boy's here.
Oops, shit.
Ogres are cool. I like ogres.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Hunger abomination decided to come here. Ah! Please stand up.
I like any monster where the whole premise is basically just like, alright, they're like people, but they're just fucking gross and, like, nasty and huge.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, isn't this an Illuvian or whatever it is?
Illuvian! It is an Illuvian. Good catch. An Illuvian, Rutskarn. I'm realizing you don't know.
Yeah, no,
It's a magic mirror that you can use to go to other places that also have a magic mirror.
Oh, so it's like a subway station for wizard nerds.
Exactly.
Fortunately,
exactly
we can't
what
use
it
that
is.
one because of lame.
It's closed now, but maybe someone will open it one day.
Alright, well, let's go this way. Now where are we? Okay, we've been here before.
I do like the idea of a wizard's tower that, like, is not physically located in one... Like, it's got, like, one ground floor, and then, like, all the other floors are on just different planes of reality, and it's only structured in a floor system because, like, that just is just a logical way to arrange it.
Yes.
Laterally.
Yeah.
But it's like, the second floor is on the moon, the third floor is just, like, in hell.
So you're saying the Tristram Cathedral of Mage Towers.
Exactly.
Are you a fan of, okay, so you know how they have, like, West Weird kind of genre? Are
Like,
you a
yeah,
fan?
yeah.
Yeah. Are you a fan of, like, Modern Weird, which is basically like, oh, this looks like a corporate building, but inside there's demons and weird shit happening?
Oh, yeah.
I like Modern Weird a lot more than I like Weird West.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. I love the idea of westerns that have, like, spooky shit going on and, like, magic. It's just that all the ones that actually exist as, like, settings that you can buy or games, I really hate.
Oh, interesting, okay.
Because, like, well, for one thing, they're all hella racist.
Yeah.
But it's like, it takes away all the fun. Like, okay, so I think that the important thing is that the magic be kind of understated and ununderstandable. And nobody wants that from, like, a boxed RPG setting because you want to be like wizards or shit. Or, like, you want to have, like, magic guns. I'm like, a gun is magic enough. Like if you're just, like, hanging out on, like, the prairie and some dude comes up with, like a single action army, that may as well be a wizard's fucking staff.
Yeah, I've always struggled with that. Like, why have wizards and shit when there's, like, guns? Cannons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you need to sort of get down to the idea, or vice versa also. Like, if you have wizard shit, why would you... And
Why
the
do you
answer
have a
would just
gun
have to be
there?
because then you don't want it. Then you don't have to rely on the wizards.
So you can shoot a wizard, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't want these wizards hanging around because they think that they're better than you. You can give a peasant a gun and then you can take his gun away. You can't take a wizard's wizard away.
Yeah.
Let's try to head back here.
But like, yeah, I like the idea that. So like, I have my own proprietary like Weird West setting, and it's very much like the key part of it is that like the player's goals often have nothing to do with any of the supernatural elements. Like the campaign I ran was set in like a silver mining town, and it's like all about kind of the political machinations of like the railroad barons and like kind of the local like scumbag like hold up gangs and stuff, and where the players fit into that, trying to make money and like expand their foothold. And then there's also this weird magic shit going on in the background that like kind of crosses over, but like basically the people who know what's going on with that magic shit, like nothing that's happening in this silver town, like they give two fucks about. Like they don't give a shit who's mayor or who's sheriff. Like they're figuring out like who's going to inherit like the interstellar kingdom or whatever.
Totally.
But like if you get in the middle of that, like you can get in some really bad trouble.
Yeah. Well, somebody
So, like,
else used a fireball.
There'd be like NPCs that like would not start any shit and like would not get into any trouble, but like the players would just kind of figure out like, all right, this guy is up to some really weird shit. Like, just stay the fuck away from him. Like, or maybe try to figure out what he's doing, but like, don't let him know that you're trying to figure out what he's doing, because like, this guy's bad news.
That's so funny.
Why are the servants trying to move?
See, Sirius says, like, wizards are just bored with magic and, like, anyone can hold a gun. I wonder if there's, like, there's gotta be different fantasy settings where anyone can learn magic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
I mean,
Dungeons and Dragons,
Dungeons
yeah.
and Dragons,
Like, if you
yeah.
study, if you study books good enough, you can, like, learn magic.
I like the idea that it's basically like calculus.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, like you really just need to like study and practice like a fuckload. I mean, it's like anybody can learn magic, music, right? But
It's gotta be like, no, it has to be like Skyrim, where it's like, yeah, man, I picked up this scroll and I can blow a fireball at you. Okay, let me into your fucking tower, man.
I like the idea of that, especially because like random people would know random spells.
Yes.
Like you would meet like a shopkeeper who knows like some magic spell where he can like see what's going on the other side of a wall.
Yeah. Like they get ones that are pertaining to their lifestyle.
Or just ones they randomly found or just figured out, like
Yeah.
it's a hobby almost. I think I mentioned this on a previous stream, but I had like a character concept for a campaign that didn't
Cool.
come
Can't do
together,
anything
where it was
here
like,
either.
his whole deal was that he was just kind of a smart librarian dude who was like 80 years old. And at some point, like very recently, like some shit went down where a member of his family's in trouble. And so he basically just did a take-in where he's like, all right, I'm just going to find a spell book and figure it out and learn on the go here. I'm like 80 years old, never been outside of this town, really, but I'm going to figure out magic now.
Well, and I like the idea of like, I mean, they kind of have it sometimes in Dragon Age for like aesthetic, is they have the mage like have a book on their hip, and so the thought is they take the book out and like read spells while they're fucking in combat, basically, or I don't know, they read the book later. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah. That's like the whole D&D thing, is wizards have like their spell book that they like write spells down in, and then how they like get spells ready for the next day is they just sit. They basically just like sit in their tent while everybody else is napping or jerking off or whatever, and they're just like nerding out over their spell book, trying to like, shit, what do you do? Okay, then you say this. Okay, that's right. It's 14 cc's of mouse blood or whatever.
This guy's confused.
What are you up to, bud? What you doing? Killing some Templars?
It seems so. Not real Templars.
You can kill Templars as a little treat.
I have a book. This is a tangent, but I have a book I got from a friend who was giving up her like library of D&D shit, and it's like a spell compendium from like 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons, and I love it because all the spells in there are so bad.
Oh man, give me an example.
There's a spell which you cast it on an animal, and it gives that animal like a marginally higher percentage chance of being mated with by another animal during mating season.
Oh my god, that's such a fun premise.
This is like a level 3 or level 4 spell.
I mean, that would actually be useful in like a economic sense, potentially.
I guess, but just like, in what campaign are you just like, all right, let's make these cows fuck?
Well, you can use it as a distraction. That's what I would do.
Why is it necessary for me to mouse hold?
But it's only during the mating season, so it needs to be the mating season already.
Can you imagine your wizard's just like, hey, what day is it? It's 50 the 30th of the blue moon. Awesome. It's fucking mating season. You guys ready for the best distraction you've ever seen in your life? Cover your eyes.
Here we go. So they have a spell called Drenal's Annoying Poke. And how it works is it's a level 2 spell, and the material component of it is a needle. And the spell is that you cast the spell and then you poke someone with the needle, and it gives that person the sensation of being poked with the needle.
I love it. I love this so much. I would love to run as like a wizard who bought like budget wizard book.
Like, yeah,
On
this
the
is like
cheap.
vendor trash wizard book. Like shovelware
And, like,
magic.
Has to get through a dungeon with the party, doing weird shit like this and being creative. That sounds amazing.
There is a spell called Diary, and it's a level 2 spell. And what it does is, once a day, like, it gives you a diary, and if you like, or if you have a book, it fills out a diary with your mental notes and your thoughts. And if you concentrate, it'll make a symbol sketch. And that's just it. That's the spell. It just keeps a diary for you instead of you keeping a diary, I guess.
The spell is, I think, hard enough, and it makes a cute little sketch.
Yeah.
Dude, Redsguard, you could totally use this. What if you were trying to get past a guard, and you're like, you better not fuck with me, I have a ghost friend. And they're like, yeah, right, you don't have a ghost friend. You're like, guess what? I can have my ghost friend write anything I want on this little piece of paper. And then you hand him the diary, and it starts doing all these like scary doodles and shit. And then the guard gets scared, and then you run past the guard. See, there's so many options.
You know what? That is a good point. You could get a lot of mileage out of the fact that other people do not know what magic is and how spells work.
See?
There's a spell called Blandness, which makes food taste bland. It's level 2.
What are the
You can
level 1
bar fight with that.
spells in this fantastical universe?
I'll see if I can find one. Oh, I found a level 1 spell called Auntie's Bath.
Right.
It causes a water source to instantly become soapy. Unseen hands scrub bubbles upon all living matter in the area.
All right.
The hands and soap disappear when the spell runs out.
Again, that's a great distraction. A lot of these are wonderful distractions. Your entire job in the campaign is to be the person in charge of distractions. I'm telling you.
It's like all you know who's magic for. There's a spell called Attract Evil Eye, which I just think is funny.
Well, you're still on fire, buddy.
Use it and burn him. Burn them all.
Okay, so that spell I mentioned, Animal Magnetism,
He bars the way.
it raises the chances of successful mating by 5% per level of the wizard.
Only
God.
way.
All you have to do is put a bunch of points into luck. You don't even have to be a good magic person, because all of these are what, level 2, level 3 spells? Who gives a shit? You just put all...
That spell's level 4.
Alright.
So
That's
for
pretty
that,
bad.
like, that means that you need to be basically, like, level 8, I think?
Okay.
Like a level 8 wizard to be able to cast that?
Y'all ready to go to a definitely real concert?
For contrast, Fireball and Lightning Bolt, the 2 go-to damage spells, are level 3.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like if they were all lower level spells, it would work perfectly. Because then you don't have to be a very good wizard. You just have to be very lucky.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, getting to like in most Dungeons and Dragons campaigns that are like kind of run with discipline and old school, like wizards who can cast level 4 spells are kind of rare. Like maybe a few dozen per like kingdom even sometimes.
Interesting.
And it's like, if you think about it, can you imagine like coming down from like the magical academy all wizened and like seasoned, having like dueled with demons and danced with vampires, and you're like, yeah, I learned the spell that makes the sheep fuck.
No, see, no, it's what Josh says. Basically, you can make money off of that in the real world. Because you come down from your mage tower and you're like, hey, you want to make some extra money, sheep farmer? And he's like, yes. And you're like, I can definitely get you another sheep, probably.
I'm just, like, at that point, you may as well just say, hey, I have a spell that, like, predicts what the weather's going to be with, like, a 30% chance of accuracy. It's better than nothing. And they're like, yeah, I guess so.
You could set yourself up as, like, a benevolent baron or whatever, you know?
Oh, totally, yeah.
It's like a 5% chance, so if people pay you for this, like, okay, what if you're like, hey, it's like a 30% chance that the animals are gonna fuck. If they don't fuck, don't pay me. And they're like, sounds good to me, and then they fucking take the money, and you're like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna tell you this, but one thing you probably want to know is I'm not a wizard.
Oh,
you
no.
just paid me money because you're sheep fuck. That's what sheep do, brother.
What?
You fucking moron.
It's mating season, you moron.
Read a book.
What if that spell book is actually not a real spell book?
Oh my
Nothing
God.
in it actually does anything.
Like the wizard dedicates like 4 pages of their spellbook to this, and it's just complete gibberish.
Oh my God, can you imagine? And then a real wizard shows up and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm making the food bland so they fight. It's like, that's not a real fucking spell, bro.
You're just a shitty cook, man. I don't know what to tell you. So, one thing that's big is like spell reversals. Like in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons that have things like, oh, if there's Fireball, then you can also just cast Ice Ball. Or if there's like Remove Curse, you can reverse it to be Bestow Curse. And I'm not 100% sure what this means because like, alright, so like, this book is alphabetized, which means that a lot of its spells they provide are like reversed versions of spells that are in the other rulebook, and they don't have the rules for it. They're just like, it's a reversed form of this spell that's in the other book you don't have. And like, in this one, there's one. So presumably in the other book, there's a spell called Flesh to Air, right? Which like turns like a person to air. In this book, there's the reversed form, Air to Flesh.
Oh my God.
Make hamburgers out of air.
What the fuck does that mean?
Oh my God, you're like hanging out with other wizards and you're like, check it out, I can make a cape. And they're like, okay. And you're like, this unhuman scream just tears through the air as a skin cape materializes in front of them. And you're like, see butts? And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I just like the idea that it's like a perfect sphere of skin. Of solid skin. Just like smashes to the ground and blubbers out. And they're just like, you cannot come back here. Never speak to us again.
Oh my God. You're in a dungeon and you're like, air to flesh, and a bunch of like flesh balls start falling and you grab them and just start chucking them at the bad guys. Just throwing these flesh balls at people.
It's like these giant yoga balls.
Yes.
Just like getting sacked in the face by an 80-pound ball of skin. You just like, you have a racket where you go around to like a tavern, you're like, oh man, people really like this tavern. You got a great garden out front, looks beautiful. Air to flesh. and just like a big ball of flesh appears in his front lawn. You're like, all right, I also know flesh to air. If you want that gone, free room, free drinks. Fucking hate wizards. There's a spell called Cook that's also level 4. And it creates a delicious meal, and these material components for it are ingredients.
Ingredients?
Ingredients. Like, you need the food that you would use to make a meal out of.
Oh my god.
And then the spell is just a fucking recipe.
Like, at best, essentially, this is doing the job of a jar of Montreal steak spice. Oh, by the way, the spell where you make water soapy, the material component for it is a bar of soap.
You're not a fucking wizard! You're just some dude with a book who tells you you're
buddy.
a fucking wizard!
Hey, pal. Hey, friend. We've been together a long time. We've had some real adventures. We faced down some really scary demons together. I think it's time you knew. Bro, you're not a wizard.
What do you mean? I can make water soapy!
You're not a wizard, Harry.
A wizard.
I poked that guy really hard once!
Someone asked, what book is this? This is Wizard Spell Compendium. It's a TSR book from back in the day.
Oh, Josh, I'm sorry.
You
know, Josh, maybe if you had make water soapy spell, you would have
maybe
lived.
you know what, if I'd had air to flesh, I could have created a big flesh bubble between me and that fireball, and I wouldn't have gotten nailed by it.
Yeah, this is an official TSR book. 100% official TSR book. This wasn't like a third-person shit or anything.
Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit!
Oh, Jesus.
You dead.
Fired 2 fireballs at me. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
You're supposed to do get good. That's what you're supposed to do.
The thing I like, one thing I liked here is that I mentioned like the Drenal's annoying poke spell. So there are 3 Drenal spells in the book, and the other one are Drenal's Dry Ink and Drenal's Eyesore. Yeah. It's just like, man, this guy was just an asshole, huh?
What a champion. Those are his only spells.
Yeah, he just sucks so bad. This is all he's introducing. Just like these weirdly, specifically annoying spells. It's like...
Oh my god.
So I found a spell that I could use to rend people's flesh. But then I centralized it and concentrated it so it's only like in getting stabbed with a needle. Why? Oh, so you could like disrupt the spellcaster. Well, why wouldn't you just like hurt him?
Well, no, that's not as fun.
I like the needle. Oh, you gotta stick him with the needle. That starts it off. Well, then why don't you just stick him with a needle? No, because it's magic. You stick him with the needle once, and then he feels like he gets stabbed with the needle for like a minute.
Have you ever played a D&D game where like one of the characters is playing a meta game of like trying to get the other party members to kill them faster?
Yes, but not on purpose.
Oh.
And they succeeded. I had a game where I was like introducing people to Dungeons & Dragons. Like I was introducing like 7 people to Dungeons & Dragons for the first time, and there was one kid who played it a bunch of times. And by the end of that session, the kid who played it a bunch of times, his character was dead. He never came back, and everyone else was like, "This game is awesome." I think I probably talked about it during a previous stream.
Oh yeah, I think so actually.
Yeah. To an end. I give you my strength. It will be of little use against
I did, when I ran Tomb of Horrors, I would tell people, like, so this game is really lethal, I need you to make a character for it, and I also need you to have a character where, for one reason or another, you're not going to be sad when they die.
Yeah.
Like, my standard framing device for people who only wanted to play Tomb of Horrors and didn't want it to be, like, part of a campaign or anything was, like, You're basically a convicted murderer who's going on a demon game show.
Hell yeah.
I am a giant rock.
That was the one where, like, that was one where I had a party of people where one was the wizard who didn't believe in magic, and the other was, like, the sex machine paladin. Tyrus says, I mean, we've already established why a wizard might not believe in magic. You just like, imagine being a wizard at wizard school and low-key becoming a magic truther where you're like, this shit's not real, is it? Now we're learning the augury spell, which I know is cleric, but whatever. Where you can like predict the future with a 60% certainty. Really? So like if you're calling a coin flip and there's like a 60% chance you're gonna call it right? Yeah, more or less. Okay. Interesting. Actually, what's the most common result of a failure? We don't know. We're not 100% sure. Okay. Yeah. Are you sure casting this or?
But I want the future to be told to be really strange. Just like, okay, I'm gonna tell you future. In 48 hours, you're gonna have some nice toast.
Yeah.
With mold on the bottom.
Oh no.
It's just like, that's it.
And then you check your toast and there's no mold. And he's like, well, it was a 60% chance. So yeah, sometimes it's a 40%.
Well, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, bud.
Yeah.
Oh, you punched that mage so hard. Is he dual wielding?
Yeah, he's dual
wielding. He's not a mage. Is he?
A priest.
Oh, okay.
Where the fuck are we? How big is this place?
It's the Fade. It's as big as the moon.
This particular area.
Oh, you can see the dark place up there, the dark city. Look up.
The Black City.
There he is.
Is that it?
I think so. It's one of those castles.
It's supposed to be visible no matter where you are in the frame.
What if Corinthians just went to the wrong castle, Josh? What if he thought he went to the seat of the Maker? It was just some Fade castle that meant nothing. No.
You know, in Guild Wars 1, there's this this area in the first campaign, in like the middle of it, where you can explore this area, and it's kind of this like tropical beach area, and there's this floating castle. There's not really any explanation what this floating castle is, but it's like this thing like, I wish I knew what, like, what is that? What's going on there? And then in Guild Wars 2, that area is in Guild Wars 2, like the same area with the coast where you can go to this, see this floating castle off in the distance. They don't explain what's going on in that floating castle in Guild Wars 2 either.
What?
It's just locked. It's like you can't go into it.
Damn it! Come on! Do you think in Dragon Age 4 we're finally going in that floating castle?
In the Black City? I mean, you'd think it would have to. Oops.
We gotta, right?
Right.
Solus is gonna tear everything down. We might as well see it before he destroys everything. Okay.
Guild Wars 3, the trailer has someone else going to the floating castle. God damn it.
We're coming up on 2 hours. Kinda. Are we close to the end of this?
Yeah, no, we're pretty much close to the end of the Fade. Yeah, no, we're gonna call it for the night here. Just in a minute.
At least let us get to one of these bosses.
Oh God. Good night, Earthstar.
There's 5 bosses plus Sloth. We haven't gotten to any of them yet.
How far are we from these bosses?
Not
like
far.
How many?
Okay, I'll wait.
I'll hold on. Boy, I don't remember this section in terms of like gameplay, but I do remember something sucking, and this looks like what was the thing that sucks.
Oh, you're in for so much more suckage, bro.
Oh boy, yeah.
That's a lot of
I kind of
gold
wonder if
right
I could
there.
like. I kind of wonder honestly if I would beat Dragon Age Origins if I played it today.
Right? I don't know who that Mumbles was that played this whole fucking game. What was she up to?
Like, well, yeah, like
I played
what
this whole
what
game
did they
twice.
Know, what did Rutscar and Mumbles in 2009 know that we don't?
Exactly.
Ah, fuck. Oh,
Like, I booted up Pathfinder Kingmaker, and like I got through the intro, and like I ran around a corner to shoot a guy with my crossbow, and then I ran back into cover, and he fired a crossbow bolt at me, and it went around the corner and hit me, and I said, "Well, that's done." That game. Nope.
And quit.
Uninstalled.
It's still on cooldown. Holy fuck.
I was playing the DLC for the new Fire Emblem. Well, it's not new anymore, but the Fire Emblem game. And in the DLC, it's like considerably harder than the main game. Like you actually have to try.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh, I actually have to try in this DLC? Fuck this. Just noped out of it.
It's like my weakness.
I only played through that once, so what route did you go?
I've done all of them, but my favorite is definitely the Blue Lions, the cops. I like them because all of the characters are so funny, and Little Ash is my favorite.
I did Black Eagles, so I never
yeah.
never got to even have a conversation with the character who is your current Discord avatar.
Oh, sweet Hilda. That's
Yeah,
so
she's just like nothing. Like you cannot interact with her as the Black Eagles at all, except to kill her at some point.
Oh man,
it
that sucks. Well, I mean, I do like the Golden Deer a lot, but a lot of the Golden Deer, they're all. Some of them are very annoying to me. Like they're very whiny, and so I end up like just wishing for the cute little blue lions to come back. So.
I'll see if these is $20 for anybody out there who's thinking about buying it.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of games that I've been playing, and that's pretty much the only one. We had a great day at Sea of Thieves the other day. Sorry, what's up, Josh?
No, you go ahead and then I'll say mine.
We basically ran into every single player on the server, which is very, very rare in that game because there's like 6 crews on a server at any given time max, and it's a big map. So like we joined the game, but we immediately are like, okay, we want to get some money because we just bought a bunch of expensive stuff, so we're gonna do world events and if you're getting all like a mixed bags of treasure from world events, one of the best ways to cash in and get money from it is to actually fly like the player killing faction flag, because the idea of the player killing faction is that they're like attacking other ships and stealing their shit and selling it. So they have a special merchant where like they get extra money for everything, although like everything's worth slightly less. But like, so like, we're kind of flying that, and the thing is when you're flying that flag, people usually stay away from you. Usually. This time, we arrive at like the island where the first event is happening, which is like a boss fight deal against like a guy who's like a boss who spawned on that island with a bunch of mooks. And as we start to arrive, like, it's kind of like 3 realizations happen in rapid succession. The first is, oh, I just saw a flash of flame on the island, which means that the boss is activated. Somebody's fighting him. Second, I see a ship off the shore. I'm like, oh, a ship has already come to engage this boss, but the ship doesn't has the default sails and the default hull, which implies that it's like a new player. So maybe, like, maybe it's not that dangerous. Maybe, like, you know, we're not in trouble here, like, which is usually what you want to start thinking when you see on the ship. And then the third thing that happened was I saw that the boss just, like, instantly nails their ship with a huge fireball and sets the whole thing on fire. Which, like, to put that in context, that's the equivalent of, like, if you're doing, like, the Ashen Lord event, which is what this is, like, you should never have the boss on the same side of the island as your ship. ever. Because that's absolutely going to happen. He is going to set your ship on fire, and it is going to burn down while you watch it. So this is like the equivalent of watching someone run in, like, Leroy Jenkins, a WoW encounter, where you're like, okay, it's fine. We just, like, show up and we jump off, and we're just like, hey, buddy, because it's one guy, just, like, one guy on a sloop. He doesn't even have another person. He's just, like, trying to handle this boss by himself and also put out his ship every other second. We're like, you need some help, buddy? You want to team up? We're flying the Alliance flag. You want to join us? But he just ignores us until his ship burns down. We're like, well, you know, nature took its course there. Fair enough.
Wow.
So then we go back to fighting the boss, and at some point I see another ship swinging around. And I'm like, are they gonna come near us? But then it, like, goes away, so we're like, all right, not a big deal. We kill the boss, we start getting all the loot ready to go, and it's kind of like, oh, you know, job well done. And we've parked our ship on the other side of the island because, you know, we know what we're doing at this point. And I start heading over to it, and my sea husband is like, hey, why is there a rowboat on the back of our ship? Did you pick up a rowboat? I'm like, I didn't pick up a rowboat.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So I, like, ran over to the ship and I board it. I, like, climb up the ladder, and as soon as I get to the top of the ladder, like, instantly this pirate appears and blunderbusses me right in the face.
Oh my god. I love it.
And I come back to the land of the dead, and this guy is, like, he's panicking because he, like, didn't think this was going to work. So he's, like, lifted our anchor, and he's trying to ram us into the rocks so he could dash our ship. And we're like, presumably this guy's got another ship somewhere where he's got, like, a confidant or crew member waiting on it, so that, like, once we're taken care of, he could swoop in and grab the treasure. Because, like, the ship is the respawn point, so if somebody could sink your ship, like, they can basically disable you in this area. That's, like, a thing we do when we're, like, in a sort of cutthroat mode.
Oh my god.
So, like, yeah, I come back and I manage to fight him off and, like, swing the ship around. And as I'm swinging the ship around, this guy's respawning on his ship, and also another ship is also arriving at the same time.
Oh my god.
So a three-way ship battle breaks out, where we're on our leaky ship that's been damaged, like, with a little bit of treasure. There's this other dude who, like, sank our ship, who loaded the ship, like, 3/4 the treasure onto his ship, and he's trying to make a getaway. He's just, like, bailing. And then there's, like, the new player who came back who's like, fuck you guys, I want that treasure, it's mine! Right. Who's, like, weaving in and out trying to nail us. And as we're having this, like, running three-way battle, a skeleton ship also randomly spawns in, which is, like, a mob, like, enemy NPC PvE ship. So there's, like, 4 ships weaving in and out of each other, all bombarding each other. And, like, we managed to kind of, like, lose the new player. And we kind of fall to the back of the file, and we're just watching the skeleton ship pound this solo player. And we realize that, like, he's alone. And he's just, like, trying to manage his ship one-handed, like, you know, adjust the sails, like, steer around rocks, like, repair the ship, put out fires, as we're just kind of, like, swinging around and taking pot shots at him. And this dude is, like, not managing to handle all of these things. He's not managing to do all of this. He's like rams into sorry, Krellin says, how do you have somebody see these stories and you only played for 12 hours?
Shit.
Are you perhaps seeing did we crash?
Not exactly.
What is this? What is this?
This was the menu for going to different areas, but now
what the fuck is this?
We get the demon sacrifice. This is the part
God.
where the VHS tape gets weird.
Josh, you just cursed all of us, including everyone watching this stream.
Wait.
In 10 days, we're gonna be visited by a ghost girl, and we're gonna die unless we show the stream to somebody else. Then the stream.
Hey everybody, make this the
curse
most
gets
watched
passed
stream on Twitch. Your life depends upon it.
Quickly.
So, Krellin, like, does it perhaps say that I've played 12 hours this week? Because that would probably be more accurate. I have, like, I'm max ranking all the major merchant companies and a pirate legend.
Make Hamster watch this. Yes!
Hey Chris, you got any thoughts about this?
Well, we're sort of at an unrecoverable state here, I think. We'd have to relaunch the game. But I did want to say something.
Okay.
Are you done with your anecdote, Red Scar? And I kind of interrupted that.
Not really. Like, I was 50% of the way through, which kind of, like...
Well, we can't just leave him with nothing.
Leave it dead in the water. Like I'm sure how this ends.
I'll kind of cut to the chase a little bit. So the ship, like, we follow it. It's like ramming into rocks, and finally they actually like stop and they turn around. And as we're sailing up, like ready to fight it away with like 3 cannonballs left in our barrel, the guy's just like, "Thank you for the chase. I have to make dinner. Would you like to sink my ship now and take the treasure?" So we did. We obliged him. Like sort of compliment each other on the chase. As we're like getting the treasure off of his ship, like another ship starts appearing, and we kind of like hail him. Like we're kind of like, let's go to the fort event. And so we hail this gold hoarder, and we're like, hey, you guys want to form an alliance? And this guy starts attacking us. So they managed to do pretty well where they both boarded us, and we only hit them once with their cannons. I sort of like peel off, and my partner jumps aboard their ship and goes down below decks with like the one hole that's letting in water. And what he does is he just like stands near that hole and he doesn't let anyone come below decks. They're like trying to come down to like repair the leak in the ship, and he's like fighting them off while also yelling over the all chat like sabotage by the Beastie Boys. And it's just
amazing.
Like he manages to hold them off for a long time, and enough that like I'm actually debating doubling back even without any cannonballs or planks or anything, and just like seeing if I can take them. But then like they managed to get him, so we just kind of go on our way. But like we're also kind of planning revenge. We come across like the last player ship on the server, and they actually accept our alliance that we'd offered the original noob. And so the two of us just both sail and take down this gold hoarder dude, just like boarding his ship and like setting fire to it. Like I have a skull that I got from the event, which like belches out flame. So I like set fire to the rigging, and then I drop the skull, and like one of the people we partnered with grabs it, and he also starts setting everything on fire. Just like really clearly having a good time with it. And they actually like, we had like a moment where like, do you guys want to take the treasure? And he's like, because you share it in an alliance, but it's not an even split. Like you get most of it if you're the one selling it. And he's like, you guys have the bonus, so you guys go sell everything for us. And we did, and like that took some trust, because people will fuck you over, but like they're like, you know what, we're cool. That's the story.
What is the moral of that story, Rothstein?
The moral of the story is don't fuck with us.
Yeah. You get fucked up.
You fuck with me and my partner, we will mess you up.
You'll be dead in the ground. Words
One thing that has happened twice in the last 2 weeks is that a player is just kind of like rude to us, like fucks with us when we're trying to help them out or do something nice for them. So we followed them until they did like a raid, basically, and then we killed them and sank their ship and took all of the raid treasure. And the one thing we'll do is, one thing that drops in like raid loops is like something called a humble gift. It's a type of treasure. The one thing we will leave in the treasure room in case they come back is the humble gift. We take everything else. We just leave them the humble gift.
You guys are dick.
Yeah. You fuck with us.
I'm fondly remembering that time Chris ran over another ship by accident.
Oh my god.
And was sad about it for the whole rest of the session.
Like, when we say ran over a ship, what do you picture happening?
Like just like rammed into a ship on the open sea.
It was, when we say ran over, we mean that, but also in the sense that like we got from one side of the ship to the other side of the ship.
Oh god.
Going.
Yeah, like literally
like
went
over, like,
right over the top.
Wow.
And because all chat is open in that game, like where you can hear other people voice chatting, we heard them also. Like we were going, what the fuck? And we also heard them going like, what the fuck?
Ironically, they apologized, and we didn't really catch it in the time, like as it was happening, but they were apologizing to us for like running over our boat, and Chris is flipping out because he's like, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. It was,
You broke it again.
yeah.
Oh no, it's okay.
Oh, hey, we found Wynn.
Maker, forgive me. I failed them all. They died and I did nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that happens.
What about all this? How can
Anyway,
you
I was
say
going to
that
say,
when you are
a
faced?
game I played recently that I really liked is In Other Waters.
Can you not
And you
see
get it
me?
on Steam, but it's also in
around us.
the Humble Choice for this month. It's actually probably the only game that I find interesting in the Humble Choice for this coming month. It's a really cool game. It is something between a visual novel and a point-and-click adventure game. It's one of those games that's like a lot about the interface, in sort of the same way of like Papers, Please or whatever. It's not a Papers, Please game, but like the game is told through the interface, and you're exploring an alien world as a marine biologist, and cataloging the life there and trying to figure out the mystery of why your friend, a former friend and colleague, called you there, and what the heck is going on this planet where there's a bunch of weird stuff.
Okay.
Wow, this game, it looks very challenging.
Yeah.
Just like looking at the screenshots and stuff.
It's so...
What use is my
It's not like free roam. Like, there are nodes, you go to nodes, you know...
Leave me to my grief.
In that way, it's a bit point and clicky, and you scan stuff, and, like, there's this whole...
And mourn their passing.
Like gameplay loop of like scanning stuff and learning things about the various, you know, animals and ecosystem that you encounter, while kind of exploring this alien world. It's really cool. Like, clearly the person who wrote it has marine biology experience, because they are able to create these very convincing, fantastical alien creatures.
Your blatant disregard for the souls of the dead strikes me as being utterly inappropriate. I do not know what you are trying to tell me. Why must you make this more painful? And where were you when
Yeah,
this
I'd really
happened?
recommend it. It's a cool game. It's like
trusted you as
8
an
hours
ally,
long.
and you were nowhere to be found.
It's got a
Point of
really good
recommendation.
soundtrack. Cool art book too that you can get with the deluxe version. I don't know if the Humble Choice one comes with it, but you can buy it later.
I do not know what this will accomplish, but I will do this if it will satisfy you. It is difficult to focus. It feels as though something is stopping me from concentrating. I've never had so much trouble.
We should probably wrap up.
Time away
Yep.
from this
As soon as we
will help me
finish
think clearly.
the win bit here.
Yep, sounds good.
Don't leave us, Win. We don't want
As soon as
to
we
go
reach our
home.
win state.
Exactly.
Holy Maker.
You know,
Stay
you just need a
away,
win every
foul
now and again.
creature.
Does Mumbles have anything to say about that?
When is this stream over?
Hey, nice.
Stay, Win. Sleep soundly in the comforting embrace of the earth. Do not fight it.
It's not a matter of if.
You
It's a matter
belong
of
here
when.
with us.
No, not
Just give me
yet.
flashbacks to old school
task is
spoiler
not yet
warning
done.
when this was
It is
all that
not time yet.
happened.
Come.
It's just entire seasons
await
of just
your
this. So I believe there are two versions of that can happen. Either you get the character on your side by persuading them, or you don't. Either way, the fight always happens with all these.
Shorting me. Big ol' monster! I'm full of rocks.
Can you throw rocks? Can you throw part of you that is a rock?
Is it over?
No.
Thank the Maker for you. Wait, what's happening? Where are you
And then,
going?
of course, because we can't possibly have party members interacting with all this weirdo bespoke stuff for the Fade, they immediately teleport away.
Goodbye.
And this happens 3 more times.
And she dies? Why is there
No,
blood
she
splatter?
she teleported to the final boss. We'll see her
Oh, okay.
again after that. Is there anything
Bye,
good
Win.
in
I
here?
love you. Cutie with a booty.
Remember that time we accidentally triggered the murder win state?
I know.
Oh yeah. That was a real no-win situation.
All right. Well, Ethics demands that I end this stream before further puns are made.
Thank you.
So, thank you for joining us, everybody. Next time we will hopefully get out of the Fade and finish the Mage Tower. That might be more ambitious than we will be able to achieve, but I can hope.
Thanks for joining us. See you guys next time.
See ya.
See you next time.
Hopefully this will be more regular again.
Yep. Adios.
Don't start streaming again. No.